Connecting your ideas, one to the other, is really the essence of communicating. I've given you a list of some words that you might use as transitional words to go from one sentence to another, one paragraph to another, to summarize your ideas. In categories of support clues, I did one on contrast, cause and effect, time, and summary. Some of these words could be interchangeable, but hopefully you'll get an idea of what words you could possibly use to transition from one idea to another. I suggest that you pause this video and copy these lists that I'm going to give you into a notebook so you can have them at your fingertips and readily use them when you need to do so. In alphabetical order, some support words: accordingly, additionally, also, and, as a result, as well as, because, besides, certainly, consequently, for example, for instance, furthermore, illustrating, in addition, in fact, like or likewise, since, such as, therefore, so, and thus. It's hard to believe that you'll use all of them, but over time, you may find that you have favorites or that you can use these in several different places. Here are some words that you may need when you want to contrast your ideas. Although, but, conversely, despite, different, however, in contrast, nevertheless, nonetheless. Notice that both of these words have nevertheless. It's all one word. It's spelled all together. Not, on the contrary, on the other hand, otherwise, rather, though, even though, unless, unlike, yet. Some of these words may be more formal than others. You might use conversely, that's pretty sophisticated, or despite, or in contrast. In a more informal paper, you might use the phrase, on the other hand. These words will help you put together ideas regarding time or possibly sequential order. After, before, during, earlier, first, following, later, now, once, originally, second, still, then, third, until, when, and while. Don't think that this is a complete list. I'm sure you're going to find other ones, but if you put these lists in a notebook where you can refer to them when you're writing, and you come across another word or so that you think fits into one of these categories, jot it down in your notebook and you're ready to go. Here's a list of words that you could use to transition between cause and effect ideas. Accordingly, as a result, because, caused by, consequently, for this reason, for that reason, hence, if, then. So if the temperature drops below 32 degrees, then the bridge will ice over. Be careful when you drive. You know, that's kind of an if-then. In order to, results in. So, that. Again, we have words that would go in here. Since, so, or so that. Therefore, thus, and again, there are words that could go in here. When this happens, then that occurs. That's that cause and effect idea. Some summary words. This would be if you were going to end your paragraph or the conclusion paragraph of your essay. You might use some of these. As a result, concluded, decided, I've used the past tense on these, but you could use another tense of the verb like concluding or deciding. Finally, here's hence again, in conclusion, in short, in summary. Lastly, overall, realized. As I pointed out before, there are some ways to express the summary or the cause and effect or the support words, the contrast words or so, that are more informal. This in short probably wouldn't be a good idea to put on a formal paper, but perhaps a letter, an email, something like that. It would work well. Some of these words overlap into other categories, and you're certainly free to fill in others that you come across that you particularly like. When you have a word bank like this, with lists of words that you could just pick and choose, it's a little easier because there are a lot of moving pieces when you actually create a paragraph or an essay. So to think of the totality of it, sometimes it's difficult. Having lists of words that would help you transition right in front of you would help fill in those blanks with those moving parts where you have to think of so many things when you're actually doing an essay. So to smoothly go from one idea to the next is very important, and it actually gives you a higher grade. If you use this idea in your undergrad years, your elementary years, your middle school and high school years, you're really painlessly practicing for the reading, the writing, the grammar sections of those scholastic tests, that the achievement tests that come, and definitely for the ACT and SAT in order to get into college.